Hey everyone, Carolina Venom here. Today I'm doing a review on the HTC Desire 510 on Boost Mobile. I've had this phone for a little while and I have been using it for a little bit. Now I'm just going to give you my thoughts on it, tell you what I think about it, give you the specs of the phone, rundown of the phone, the goods and the bads, and run some tests. And so let's go ahead and get started. This phone is running Android 4.4.2. It's got a 4.7 inch display at 854 by 480 resolution at 208 ppi. It's got a 62.27% screen to body ratio with multi-touch touchscreen. It's got a 5 megapixel camera on the rear, and it will record in full 1080 HD, and it does have a VGA front-facing camera. This phone is running a 1.2 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 410 processor with 1 GB of RAM with 8 gigs of built-in storage, and it will support up to 128 GB micro SD card. It's got a 2100 mAh battery with an estimated 17 hours of talk time and an estimated 27 days of standby time. This phone is LTE, and that's about it. Go ahead and take you around the phone here. On top, of course, is your ear speaker, your front-facing camera, your microphone at the bottom part of the phone here. On the bottom, you got your micro USB charging port. On the left side here, you got nothing. On the back, of course, is your speaker. Your camera. The bottom is your speaker. On the bottom of the phone, micro USB charging port. And on the right side is your volume rocker. Like I said, the screen is 4.7, but there is a lot of space between the bottom of the phone and where the back, the home, and the recents button are, which are on screen. And I'm not really crazy about that. I like the back home buttons on the body of the phone, like on the LG Volt or the Caracera highlighter icon. Because when you have the icons here on the phone, it does cut out some of your screen, making it seem smaller than 4.7, unless you're watching a video, something like that, you know. One thing about this phone here that I'm going to go ahead and give you the pros of this phone first, before I give you the cons of it. And the pros of this phone here is the call quality. It's got very good call quality. It's very strong. On the other end, people hear me just fine. On my end, they're very strong. It's very clear. It may have a slight muffle to it, but it's not enough to really even matter. It just sounds good in general. Reception is also very good. I've been able to walk around my house virtually in a out of coverage area and hold phone calls clear with no breakups, no drop calls. It's been very strong. That's also a plus point with this phone here as well. The phone is pretty smooth, but I have ran smoother phones. When you are going through the menus, it does seem to, run fairly smooth. But when you go into the settings, you'll see here that when you're scrolling, it's like it has like a when you're scrolling here, you can see here, it's like it's just not smooth. Now if you flick it pretty hard, it's gonna fly through. But when you're just scrolling, it's not smooth. It just it's got like a blockiness to it. And whenever you're also scrolling slow, it'll be slow for a little bit, then it's like it'll just take off by itself sometimes, and that's kind of annoying as well. Some of the bads, which that was a bad there as well. But also the goods, I'm not done yet, was it does have blink feed. Not used it, so I'm not really familiar with blink feed, but it is pretty cool to have. And this thing is running HTC Sense 6. And even though the speaker is on the rear, unfortunately, instead of being on the front, like a lot of newer HTCs are, the speaker is pretty strong, and you can hear it pretty well. Even though when you lay it down like this, it's not going to be as loud because of the muffledness, but it still puts out pretty well, and you can't hear the phone ring. Now, the rest of this phone to me is bad. Screen quality is probably one of the worst I've seen on a phone here lately. Looking at this screen directly with the camera, it does look sharp, and it does look pretty good, and everything. But whenever you are sitting here scrolling back and forth, I mean, it's like they go all the letters go fuzzy. It's just not sharp when you angle it in different areas. When you look at it from different angles, it just does not look good at all. You really can't tell from this camera here. You have to really see it for yourself. It's just not that great of a screen, and I'm very disappointed in this screen. I know for $100 off contract with Virgin Mobile, Boost Mobile, I do know they cannot offer the greatest specs and the highest end products or stuff on a phone for $100. I know they don't do that, but I'm still very disappointed in the screen quality of this phone. I think it's very poor, and everything that I do with it, the screen quality is just terrible. And the only way that it even looks decent at all is I took a picture just against the bed where it was like a black back, and I put it as a wallpaper, and it does look like it brings things out better. The colors are off though. It's just not that good at all. When you got the wallpapers on, everything up here is hard to see sometimes, and it's just bad. I mean, it's awful. I mean, when you come from the Kyocera Hydro Icon, the LG Volt, there's just no comparison in screen quality. There's no comparison. Another thing with this phone here that I don't like about it is the fact that there's no flash. And 5 megapixel camera is pretty low end, and like I said, there is no flash, so you can forget about taking pictures in low light or anything. Excuse me. And you can forget having a flashlight on your phone. So yeah, there you go. The phone's very slick. The phone feels very plasticky. You can look at the phone. The phone just does not look like it's built great. It's heavy. It's big. When you compare this phone to the LG Volt with the same screen size, bottoms are equal. You can tell that the HTC is quite a bit taller than the LG and everything, and it's thick, it's big, and it's slick, and I just don't like the phone in general. I just do not like it. We'll go in here and I will show you some tests that it did run, and I was expecting better tests, but unfortunately the best score it got was 18,281 on Antutu, but it did rate good. A good CPU, good RAM, all that stuff. It did have a good rating, but I was expecting better, seeing as how the LG Volt, which is a cheaper phone, but a better phone, and I say a better phone in all areas. When it was bone stock, it came in around 19,100, and it's got a Snapdragon 400 processor versus the Snapdragon 410 processor, which ain't much different, but it's still more, and you figured it would score better. And on the quadrant that I ran, it came in at 9,411. So that's not a bad score. CPU down here was 31,437, and so that's not too bad. Got a pretty good quadrant speed. The keys for calling, they're pretty small. They're not very big. There is times that I have messed up on the keys and had to back up on it. When you compare it to other phones, like I'll show you here, big keys, little bitty keys. So yeah, small key. keyboard. Messaging, I do like the keyboard. Keyboard is very easy to text on. It's pretty good size, and I love the way the keys are. It's very easy to text on. Not really had any mistakes, and it's very good at correcting any mistakes you make by autocorrect. So I do like the keyboard, and I do like the messaging on this phone. But that's about it. I really ain't got much else to say about this phone. I took some pictures with it. Pictures don't look good. They look washed out. They just don't have very good color to them. Video quality does okay in full 1080. I will, when my plan renews in a couple, since I'm about 5 gigs over my data cap. I of course have been throttled, and so when my plan renews here in a couple of days, I will do some speed test in my usual place to see what kind of speeds I can pull, download, and upload with this phone compared to other phones that I've used. So I will be doing that and everything. So, and also battery life, I fully charged it tonight, and I used the phone for like an hour talking on the phone using Bluetooth, and that's about it. I'm downloading a few apps, and I'm down to 64% on battery life. That's under light usage. So let me go to the battery here and see how long it's been powered on. Let me go here to the power. It says I've got 3 hours and 47 minutes on the battery, and it's done down to 64%. That's under light usage. So I can kind of tell you how battery life's going to be on this device. So really, I don't like it. I'm not going to keep this phone. It was really a mistake buying it, but I wanted to try it out to see how I liked it. Personally, in my own opinion, I do not recommend this phone. Of course, like I said, $100 off contract. You really can't expect a whole lot, but you can get the LG Volt really for $79, and it's more compact, same size screen. It runs smoother, it runs better, and it's like $79 right now at Best Buy. And you know, it's got flash, a better camera, and it's just a better phone in general. So honestly, I would pass on the HTC Desire 510. That's just my opinion. And like I say, everything that I review and like this is based solely on my opinion. If anybody has any questions, any comments about anything that I review, always feel free to ask me. I'll do the best I can to explain it to you. I don't plan on doing any kind of gameplay on this phone, nothing like that. When I do the speed test on it, I will probably take a few pictures, a few videos, and I will also add them in along with the speed test to kind of show you how the pictures and videos look as well. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like I say, got any questions or comments, please feel free to ask me. I think this is a fail on a phone. I don't like it, and I just don't feel comfortable using it. There's some phones that you feel comfortable using, some phones you don't feel comfortable using, and this is one of them that I just do not like using at all. It's big, it's heavy, and I just don't like it. Subscribe to my channel. I sure would appreciate it. Hope this helps a little bit. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later.